Not in the Sandwich, and today we are playing Mount and Blade Warband. If you've not played Warband before, it's a medieval sandbox, and it is one of my, if not my favourite game. So we're going to start a new game, and because I've played it for so long, I know what I would normally do in the start of the game. So instead of choosing those things, I'm going to roll some dice for the options at the beginning of the game, and that's going to figure out what we're going to do at the start of the game. So it's a traditional medieval game, so as it says here, it's dominated by male members of the nobility. If you play as female, it's a bit more difficult. I'm going to start off as male in this series. Actually, I'm always going to be male in this series. You cannot change your gender, so it's male. And here we go. So there are 6 options, so I'm just going to roll a d6. So I'm figuring out who my father was. The third option, a veteran warrior. Okay. As a child, your family scrabbled out a meagre living from your father's wages as a guardsman to the local lord. It was not an easy existence, and you were too poor to get much of an education. You learned mainly how to defend yourself on the streets with or without a weapon in hand. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as... And there's 5, so it makes it a bit more difficult to roll a d10 here. 4, which would be the second one down, a craftsman's apprentice. Obviously, d10 1 to 2 will be the first one, 3 to 4, the next one. As a boy growing out of childhood, you apprenticed with a local craftsman to learn a trade. After years of hard work and study under your new master, he promoted you to journeyman and employed you as a fully paid craftsman for as long as you wished to stay. Then, as a young adult, life changed, as it always does. You became... d6 again, very simple. 3 again, a university student. Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you had become a man, and the whole world seemed to change around you. You found yourself as a student in the university of one of the great cities, where you studied theology, philosophy, and medicine. But not all your lessons were learned in the lecture halls. You may or may not have joined in with your fellows as they roamed the alleys in search of wine, women, and a good fight. However, you were suddenly able to observe how a broken jaw is set, or how an angry townsman can be persuaded to set down his club and accept cash compensation for the destruction of his shop. But soon everything changed, and you decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer. What made you take this decision was... Another d10 here. 5, which would be the third one, Wanderlust. That's my choice anyway, so that's convenient. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. You're not even sure when your home became a prison, when the familiar became mundane, but your dreams of wandering have taken over your life, whether you yearn for some faraway place, or merely for the open road and the freedom of travel. You could no longer bear to stay in the same place. You simply went and never looked back. So let us become an adventurer. I am not going to quit without saving to make it slightly more difficult. Obviously, scum saving in this game is kind of helpful, so we're not going to do it. Okay, now this is essentially the skills screen of Mount and Blade Warband. If you hover over something over on the left, it appears up in the top right hand corner. So your base attributes strength makes you stronger. Agility makes you faster and more agile. Intelligence obviously makes you more intelligent. And charisma is your people person skills. And each of those things corresponds to a skill in the middle. So intelligence, you have trainer, tracking, tactics, pathfinding, spotting, inventory management, wound treatment, surgery, first aid, engineer, and persuasion. I should have just picked strength because it's only got 4. But these top 4 are strength, and then there's agility here, and then it goes to intelligence, and then these ones are charisma. So, what I might be doing, and you can see in the top right, things can't be developed more than 1/3. So I'm going to just make these 9, so I can actually develop those to 3 instead of just to 2. And then I've got 2 here, so let's see, I was a university student, but I've left to become an adventurer. Let's imagine at the start of this that I'm not particularly smart. So I'll leave my intelligence at 7 for a second. One of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to get some prisoner management. Just 1 point. It lets you take prisoners, and that's really all you need. And strength, we're going to get some iron flesh because it increases your hit points. Hit points are at 40, let's make it 50, and power strength. So I'm going to hit hard where I can. And you can see my weapon master is at 2, I'm going to put that at 3 as well. It just means you get more proficiency quicker. And then, see, this is where it gets a bit, you know, what am I doing? Trainer is already at 1, which is nice. Pathfinding is at 1. We'll go with just some inventory management, I think. And over here you can see your proficiencies. So just in case I do end up getting a bow, I'm just going to increase my archery to 37. And now I've got to pick a name. And I'm not entirely sure what name I'll go with. So I'm going to quickly think of a name, and I'll get back to you when I have thought of one. So, if you have been watching my Stardew Valley series, I have got myself as Radicchio, and my cat Mustard. I'm just going to be along that same theme. I'm going to be Manchego. Done. So you can see, this is my character. Ooh, that was a bit fast. This is my character. I've got a crossbow, a shield, and a sword to start out, but we're focusing on this. And I'm just going to randomize it a couple times. I believe you can always change your face. What looks like a Manchego. That'll do. Alright. And you hear about Calradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other for supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe you may leave your past behind and start a new life. You feel that finally, you hold the key of your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Calradia and its kingdoms, there's 6 here, so once again, and it's a 2. To Raven. I was really hoping I'd get a 1 and go to Praven, but nevertheless, we are on our way to Raven. You have come through the Vagia Highlands, a plateau exposed to the bitter winds from the north. The land here is frozen for most of the year, but the forests are rich with fur-bearing game, and the rivers are teeming with fish. The riches of the land draw the traders, but the traders in turn draw bandits. You saw an occasional dark figure mounted on a shaggy pony, watching the passage of your caravan from a snowy ridge, and were glad when the spires of Raven came into view across the wide valley of the Bolak River. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn in Raven, and fall asleep quickly. However, you awake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end, the rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. And here we go. This is our first look at the world of Warband. Oh, jeepers. Now, let's just... Aha! One of the great things about this game is your arrows stick out of your shield. Let's get my shield back and deal with this vagabond. Huzzah! Bandit killed by Manchego. And in a plot twist, this has been the narrator. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure that we can say the same for that other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here, we don't know who's listening. So I'm heading into the merchant's house. And here is the merchant's house. Not much of a house, to be honest, but... Oh, he's got some stairs. Can we go down the stairs? No, we cannot. I've never tried that. Now let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven to banditry by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us because of all of the fighting on the frontiers, fewer men to keep an eye on the streets. But I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house, out alone after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here, and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but his family. So what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with a blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly, or you wouldn't be coming to Calradia to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. So here you can choose to do it or not to do it, but really, if you do it, you know, it's better. You get some money, so let's go on. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try and take on a whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted, I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work. They're more than interested in tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay. So take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I reckon that you will need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Alright. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Raven after you've got your group together. Then we'll speak about what we do next. Okay, we've got our first quest. And what it doesn't tell you, collect 5 men, there we go, is to exit this quickly. You can try and... oh, it does tell you, never mind. Press tab. And this is the world of Warband. It's not much, but much as it is, you've got several different factions. You've got the Kingdom of Aegeas, which I am in, and the capital Raven. Over here, the Kingdom of Nords and the capital Sargoth. The Kingdom of Swadia and the capital, which is Praven, all the way over there. Kingdom of Jelkala. The Kingdom of Rhodox and the capital of Jelkala. The Saranid Sultanate and the Kingdom of Shiriz, the capital of Shiriz, sorry, and the Kurjat Khanate, and their capital is Tulga. So, if you're out and about and you don't know where you are, a quick tip is to just select one of these screens somewhere and press done, and it will zoom you back to where you are. Now wondering, oh, there we go, we're viewing the overland map. To wander around, we've got to collect some men, so we'll head into Ayik and recruit some volunteers. I've only got one, but we'll recruit them. I'll also go to Tazamesh. And I want to head back to Raven before the end of the day. So we'll recruit them. 5 Swadian recruits. Alright. Oh, so some looters there. While I'm out and about, I'll also press I for my inventory screen. This is what I've got. You can equip stuff in all of these slots. I have +1 to wound treatment from my book, and I've got some fish. The more different types of food you have, the higher your morale bonus will be. And I've just got a simple saddle horse. Now, you can, in your options, control how difficult the game will be, and I just wanted to check this to make sure my block direction was what I thought it was, which it is. It's by mouse movement. Automatic, it will just do it automatically. Mouse movement makes the game significantly harder. You can see the difficulty rating over here jumps up quite a bit. And you will shortly see that I am not particularly good at fighting like this, because we're going to head to the arena and talk to the tournament master. So, in the larger cities they do tournaments, but if there's not a tournament, you can just kind of attack. Okay, I want to... And I've got the best weapon for the arena, the two-handed sword. And these people are all just fairly novice fighters. Oh. But it is difficult blocking in one direction, so ah, drats. I beat 7 people. I'm going to try that again. Got 10 dinars for that, which is not too bad. Oh, now I've got a pole. So, pole arms are a bit weaker, obviously. But they do have reach on their side. And what I will be doing is I'll just be kiting this. I can pick up the shield and the sword. Oh, I've dropped the shield apparently. There we go. Ooh, I'll still use my pole until I get into a bit of a pickle. That was the pickle. Well, you can't win everyone, can you? Let's try it once more. A sword and a shield. Fair enough. One-handed weapons are faster, but they lack the reach. But sometimes you don't need reach, you just need to be able to strike fast. With a one-handed weapon and a good proficiency in it, you can strike before they've recovered from their first attack, and obviously having a shield, you don't need to worry about what direction they're blocking from. So let's try and win this tournament, and then we'll head to the tavern. Ooh, I'm definitely going to pick up another shield here. Mine is about to break. You can see in the bottom right hand corner it shows your durability of your shield. Every time you take a hit, the durability goes down. So that's... oh, I've picked up a sword instead. Oh, there goes my shield. So let's quickly pick up that and block just in time for this. You can drop your weapon with the G key. Oh, an archer. Oh. Shot. That's okay. We got 25 dinars. And let's have a look. So we've got tournaments in Tyr, I'm going to call it Tyr, Rivercheg, Nara, and Cuba. The closest one to us would be Rivercheg. Actually, Rivercheg and Nara are about the same. So we'll head back to the tavern because we do have our recruits. Splendid work. You have hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers Enton Riverton have told us that there's a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them, and make them disclose the location of their lair. So we're hunting for bandits. And you can press tab. I'm just going to quickly go to the arms merchant to see what I can purchase for $210. Probably not a lot. I can purchase some more bolts. I can't use that shield on horseback. Not a lot indeed. So we will head out. There are our band of robbers. Much better than going after the 12 looters. So So we've got 7 troops against their 4. So this is the battle screen. So if I press backspace, it actually brings up a more detailed view. This is the battle map over on the right hand here. I generally don't use it. I probably should use it, but anyway, I don't. Holding the F1 key, you can maneuver your troops wherever you want them. Tapping the F1 key brings up a menu, so you can tell everyone to follow you, to hold position, standing ground, they will, let me just back off for a second. Standing ground, they will kind of spread out a bit. I'll try and get a cheap shot off here. I missed. So if you're aiming the weapon and you right click, it will stop the aim. Holding shift will zoom in as well. There we go. I'm just going to tell everyone to charge. And I will charge in myself as well. So you can see I've got some of my recruits holding back, throwing stones. Oh, I missed. That was awkward. And I've taken some damage, 17 damage to be specific. And there we go. I've taken the last one out on my sword. And press tab. You've got to wait for the battle 1 press tab key to leave message to pop up. If you do not, you will try and retreat. Okay, where are they? They're near Ayik. And we do get some nomad boots, so I'm going to take the boots, put them there. Holding the left control button will allow you to just simply move stuff across without having to click a couple times. So I've got some boots and I've got some armor. And there's the kidnapper's hideout. We've got some soldiers ready to upgrade, so you can press the party button, or P for party, and upgrade, and we'll upgrade it to militia. And let us first go back to Ayik and see if there's anyone that wants to join us. There is not. And then we'll go to the kidnapper's hideout. Let's attack the hideout. And I want everyone to follow me. Oh, get out of the way, get out of the way. There we go. Knocked unconscious by the Swadian recruit, that is good. Pressing F2 will give you some more commands as well. So if I tell everyone to hold here, and then you can tell them to spread out, you can tell them to move forward a bit. If there are horses around and they have adequate riding skill, they can do all of those. Pressing escape will get rid of that. If I want people to stop throwing stones, I can do that. But seeing as they don't have any shields, I'll just tell them to do what they want. And let's just charge everyone in. Noticing they will all split up, so I'll go with this group because there's not as many of them. And I'll try and get some pot shots off. Yes, 23 damage. I missed. No, I'm going to have to follow them up so they don't die. He seems to be doing... Oh, I spoke too soon. I believe in you. Yes, excellent. And that was it. Okay, so the merchant brother. And this is where we get our loot. So 29 cutting against my 24 cutting. I'm going to take that. And we'll hold, we'll take the nomad armor as well, and then we'll hold left control and just get all of these. So your loot is sorted into... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get a club so I can take some prisoners. Your loot is sorted into your gold value, so the highest value will be at the top, the lowest value at the bottom. And I'm just going to head to Ayik, and I'm going to see if I can find the village elder. There he is. The village elder will always be standing still. Do you have any tasks? Teach you how to defend yourself. Okay, so this task you can now... don't have anyone. You can train the peasants. It's going to take me quite some time to do this because I have a training skill of 1. But you can train the peasants. It takes a couple of days to do it, but their village loyalty goes up, and you have to fight against some peasants, and you don't want to lose this fight. It would be embarrassing. And we're just going to leave. Actually, no, we're going to train until the day, because I knew there were looters milling about. This is King Yarriglek. He's the leader of the Kingdom of Aegeas. And does he have any tasks? Yes, we've got to hunt someone down. Ismerala. Okay, but before we do that, we will head back to Raverden. We're going to go to the tavern, and we're going to find the merchant. So we've got our 200 dinars. Oh, I forgot to read. Are you interested in making some more? Remember how I told you that the bandits had an ally inside the walls? I think I know who it is. The captain of the watch, no less. Some months ago, this captain, seeing the amount of profit we merchants were making from trade across the frontiers, decided to borrow some money to sponsor a caravan. Unfortunately, like many who are new to commerce, failed to realize that great profit only comes with great risk. So he sank all his money into the most expensive commodities, and of course, his caravan was captured and looted, and he lost everything. As a consequence, it seems our captain turned to villainy to recoup his fortune. I suppose I'd do the same if the heavens forbid I ever faced indebtedness and ruination. Now, any watch captain worth his salary will have a few thieves and robbers on his payroll to inform on the rest. But our captain decides to employ these bastards wholesale. He brings them into the town, lets them do as they will, and he takes a share of the take. You've heard of poachers turning gamekeepers? Well, in the unfortunate land of Calradia, sometimes gamekeepers will turn poacher. Luckily, there's still a few brave, honest souls in the watch who've told me how he works. Now, here's my plan. If I could bring the attention to King Yarriglek, lord of the city, but that would mean an inquiry, my word against the captain's, and witnesses can be bought and evidence destroyed. Or maybe the whole thing will be forgotten if the enemy comes across the border again, and all I get for my trouble is a knife in the ribs. In time of war, you see, a king's eye wanders far from his domain, and his subjects suffer. So I've got another idea. I've got a small group of townsfolk together, some men in my employ and some others who have lost relatives to these bandits, and we'll storm the captain's home and bring him in chains before King Yarriglek, hopefully with a few captured bandits to explain how things stack up. All I need now is someone to lead my little army into battle, and I can't think of anyone better than you. So what do you say? Well, I suppose it's possible that I found a dozen bandits who are willing to give their lives to give a passing stranger a false impression of life in old Raverden. Well, I guess you can't really know if my word is good, but I reckon you've learned that my money is good, and there's another 100 dinars, or maybe a bit more, that's waiting for you if you do me this last little favor. So what do you say? Splendid. It's been a long time since I staked so much on a single throw of the dice, and frankly I find it exhilarating. My men are ready to move on your word. Are you ready? Good. Now strike hard, strike fast, and the captain and his henchmen won't know what hit them. May the heavens be with you. Okay, so we're going to try and fight the bandits. And let's have a look and see if we can find some bandits. That's a bandit for sure. Oh, I shot too soon. That was a bandit for sure. He's taken someone down. I'm under attack. I should have kept my better weapon. Oh, there seems to be more going down here. The townsman's just been killed. Get out of my way, lady. Alright, no, I think the guard got him. Yes. Okay. Well done. I hear you accounted for 1 or 2 of the bastards, and you're still on your feet. You can't ask for a better outcome of the battle than that. Unfortunately, about 7 of my lads got themselves wounded. I should go look on them. The heavens alone grant us victory. Yes, yes. Now, a couple of my boys have the watch captain pinned down in the back room with a knife to his throat. I'll need to drag him before King Yarglek and explain what this breach of the peace is all about. You don't need to be part of that, though. I'll tell you what, if all goes well, I'll meet you in the tavern again shortly, and let you know how it all came out. If you don't see me in the tavern, but instead see my head on a spike of the city gate, I'll assume you know enough to stay out of town for a while and forget this whole episode ever happened. So hopefully, we'll meet again. And I think I will just head to the marketplace and sell all of my stuff. Doesn't really matter who you sell stuff to, and they'll all take it for the same price. And I now have 618 and 120 to trade. So what I might do is get myself a better weapon. That's a lot for a heavy-winged mace. 26 against 20 though. Seems pretty good. Or I could get myself a nice shield. You can move stuff around in your inventory without purchasing it. And it will tell you what you do. Everything before you press trade can be undone. So I'm just going to have a look at this. I'm going to buy this cavalry shield. And I'll sell that for 250. And you know what? I will end this episode here. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more, please like the video and leave a comment. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I've got a Let's Play series of Starbound, Minecraft, and Cthulhu Saves the World. So check them all out. Subscribe if you do like what you see, and I will see you next time.